Today we commemorate our saints, people of faith who carried and passed on our faith stories to us, and individuals who followed God's call, both within Christianity and outside our tradition. Excuse me. We include among those commemorated those who were formally bestowed sainthood, as well as unnamed and everyday saints. Later in the service, you'll be invited to speak aloud the names of those who have pointed you to the sacred, who've carried you along in your faith, as well as those saints who died in the struggle for justice, working to bring God's realm here on earth. We also acknowledge the particular saints that are known to us, our loved ones who in death have moved into the nearer presence of God. We recognize today that it is because of the saints who have gone before us that we are. Those who have worked toward liberation for all, who have given so that others may live more freely, we would not be if not for them. Those who loved us, who lived simple lives that pointed us toward your love, we would not be if not for them. In difficult times such as we are experiencing today, I find it especially meaningful to call upon the wisdom and the lived experience of those who have gone before, to remember those who struggled against great odds, to claim the fullness of life that we all long to feel, to remember those who were not granted privileges and rights that we assume, but found a way to thrive despite it, to remember those who recognize the ways in which our world did not reflect the kingdom of God that we are called to live into, and dedicated their energies to reflecting God's love to all those places where love was thin. We remember today that our ancestors, our foremothers and fathers, were not perfect. We remember that some of them hurt us, that some of them made choices that hurt God's good creation. Some of their missteps we are still cleaning up today, whether in our world or in our own hearts, and yet today we strive to hold them in love and tender mercy, praying that the love that holds us all, that has no bounds, sees both our pain and theirs, and rushes to fill in our hurt places. I have a reading here to share with you that was just shared with me today, so it seems fitting to pass it on. This is from Richard Rohr. Passed on one, I see you there, not your skin and bones, nor the frame that once held you. I see your aura, your spirit, your essence. I see the glow of who you once were and who you are today. I see somehow the imprint of what you've left me here. It's not a thumbprint, but some other form of spirit code. Somehow the shape of you carves lines into the essence of who I am. Somehow I am enough because you were enough. Ancestor, your name will always be the sound of breath in my lungs. Ancestor, your face will always look like the face of my own children. Ancestor, your essence will always feel like the wind when it slips through the tree branches, singing a song. You, dear one, lead me still. I feel the gifts you've left me, and I wonder how much more is waiting. I learn my own way as I reckon with your mistakes and realize that you were human once, like I am human now. I wonder how much you notice from the other side. What does God feel like? I'll wait, and one day you'll show me. In community, we celebrate the ways in which death both parts us and rejoins us in the great cosmic whole. Our church community on this side of the veil celebrates the cloud of witnesses on the other side of the veil, now joined with God. Let us celebrate now, together, the communion of saints. Our Christ candle and community candle are lit. These two candles on our altar each week remind us of our ancestor Jesus and the community of saints, both in this world and beyond, this church and beyond, of whom we are a part. As we light our first candle, we acknowledge and remember now all the saints whose names have been forgotten, who were lost in life and so had no one to remember them, or whose lives and deaths were seen by the divine and not their beloved ones on earth. We hold a special place for them in this service, lifting up their lives in gratitude. I invite you to hold them in your heart as we light a candle for them all. Candle 2. In remembrance and gratitude, we now name the saints who pointed us to the sacred, the spiritual teachers, theologians, and pastors in this faith journey or in others, who have accompanied us on our spiritual journeys, deepening our compassion and widening our perspective. I invite you to speak them aloud, their names aloud from your heart. I invite you to speak their names aloud or from your heart as we light a candle for them all. Stand prone. Fred. Rachel Held Evans. We remember today the martyrs from the earliest days of Christianity who ensured our faith survived. Those whose names we remember and those nameless ones, both men and women, who died often because of their witness. We remember, too, those who built this church and created places of community and worship, sometimes against great odds. I invite you to speak their names aloud or from your heart now as we light a candle for them all. We remember today all the women whose spiritual practices and ancestral wisdom were often either ignored or seen as a threat, rather than being valued for their contributions to our faith. We remember, too, those outside our faith tradition whose spirituality gifts us today, but who may have been threatened in life by our own faith foremothers and fathers. I invite you to speak their names aloud or from your heart as we light a candle for them all. In thanksgiving for their labors, sometimes unseen in their lifetimes, we name the saints who hungered for righteousness, who struggled for justice and joy, whose sacrifices have contributed to a more just society that reflects the kingdom of God. I invite you now to speak their names aloud or from your heart as we light a candle for them all. We remember the artists and poets and songwriters who help us see creation and creator with fresh insight, who give us words and language and image and music to help us wrap our finite minds around the great mystery. We give thanks for the ways that Spirit moved and dwelled in them and the ways that they shared their insight with us. We lift their names now. And we remember now, beyond those already named, who have loved us, those who have nurtured us, embraced us, celebrated us, or supported us. The ordinary people who did their best to love us and love their communities. In remembrance and gratitude, we name the saints who have shaped our lives and beings. I invite you to speak their names aloud or from your heart now as we light a candle for them all. We stand present to the immense gift of these souls and saints who surround and guide and teach us today. And finally, we remember those who we loved or who had an impact on our lives who have died this past year, for whom our grief is fresh and mourning is ever present. We give thanks for their lives and their love and lift their names in this service now. Al Andrus, Catherine Beebe, Thomas Beebe, Ruth Duck, Susan Grant, Al Gunby, Abigail Guaidacan, Harvey Colm, Leticia Guardiola Saenz, Beverly Lejeune Traub, Joanna Macy, Gail Oden, Emily Vidal. These individuals named from the pulpit or from your mouths were a part of our lives, our families, our church, our community. We give thanks for their presence in our lives, and we lift up their completed lives in gratitude. May they be enfolded in the arms of love that never ends, and may our memories with them bless our living.